This is the Vino and Whine podcast.
What are 3 pieces of advice you would give to someone who, is embarking on that hashtag influencer life journey or is starting to build their brand? And I also want to know what 3 things you would not recommend too.
The first one would be spend a lot of time figuring out what your brand is. Most people don't get into the influencer or blogging industry without wanting to monetize it. So that was, you just got to be honest. But if you're going to want to monetize it and be this influencer, you have to treat it like a business. And so treating it like a business is figuring out what is my brand, like going through branding exercises to figure out what makes you different, because there's billions of people who are on Instagram. Like, how are you going to stand out? And so, my first tip would be to really figure out that personal branding piece. And the best book I've ever seen on this is called Branding Pays. And she literally walks you through a branding process so that by the time you're done with the book, you know exactly who you are, what it is that you do, and how you do it differently than all your other competitors on the market. And just because you're an influencer does not absolve you from having to do that work, especially if you want to be successful. Number 2 is stop looking at what everybody else around you is doing and comparing yourself. Your audience.
It's a problem. No, it's a real problem. I mean, I'm about to turn 40. I'm trying to do, all this stuff. And these girls I'm looking at are probably like 10 to 15 years younger. And, then I start to get in my own head. Am I too old to be on Instagram? And then you go down the dark hole. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not good. And I've gone through that too, where everybody went on the TikTok train, and there was a friend of mine who just reached 1 million views on TikTok. And I started thinking like, maybe I should have been over there earlier. And it was like, no, Leah, that was not for you at that time. And so you have to really figure out where your audience is and serve them in that place. So don't try to do YouTube and a podcast and all TikTok and all this other stuff when maybe you should just focus on 2 or 3 really solid platforms that you can manage, and just get rid of all of the other little voices around you. That's the best thing.
That's a good tip.
And 3 is just to be patient, and consistency is key. A lot of people don't have patience. They want this microwavable, I'm a superstar type mentality. And it's sickening. It's like social media has created all these little narcissists that run around. And so if this is a business, businesses fail. Businesses have up and down. We go on this roller coaster where it's like, yeah, I'm the shit. And then the next day you're like, I'm so depressed because none of my clients like me. So you have to be prepared to be on that wave and to stick it out if this is something that you really want to do, and wake up every day and say, what are 3 things I'm going to accomplish today to move my goal forward? Am I going to set up my email marketing list? Am I going to watch some webinars that tell me how to grow my list? Am I going to send out a newsletter, even if I only have 5 people that signed up? Those are the type of decisions that successful people make every single day, and they're consistent about serving it until it grows. So those will be my do's. My don't is to not look at what everybody else is freaking doing. Just don't pay attention to them. Stay very hyper focused on what your brand is and who you're there to serve. That's it. Don't go out and read all these books and go to all these conferences and sign up for all these big people's newsletters to the point to where now you're paralyzed and you won't move forward because you feel like, I got to listen to Gary Vee one more time before I put my content out there. No, put it out there and do it imperfectly. The point is that you just have to do it. Like what you guys are doing with the podcast, there's people that will wait years to even do this step that you guys are doing because they're going to read some more books. They're going to listen to some more experts. They're going to spend hundreds of thousands at podcast conferences and they haven't even put it out yet.
Right. And there's no perfect way, right? It just goes, it's like any other career where you get as much knowledge as you can and then you go for it and then you look back and you say, okay, this worked, this didn't, let's fix this. and then move on. I mean, you know, somebody going to judge me? Sorry, I didn't want to spend $500 on a microphone for my, you know.
Thank you. Not when Amazon have them for like $20, $30.
Yeah.
I mean, you grow and then you reinvest and things like that. But
Yeah.
it's a hard concept. I think I used to have this issue. Actually, my daughter has it. I'm like, oh God. But you want to already be, you know, you want to be fast forwarded 5 years into the future. You don't want to do the steps and go through all the heartache and deal with all the failures to get there. But that's the only way.
Yeah, the only way. You can't fast, and that's how you learn. And sometimes you go back and you're like, man, that was a process. Maybe I should have been more open or had my eyes open instead of so focused on the end goal of, I want to make this money, I want to have this many followers, because then you lose the journey. And you don't want to lose the journey, because that helps, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But those are two. And then my last don't would just still be along those same lines. Like, don't get so invested into, you know, I have to spend all of this money, or I can't do it because I'm broke, or I don't have a job. There are people out there making it happen without, just period. If you want it and it's for you and you put in the work, it can happen for you. So don't say, because people will tell you, oh, you can't be an influencer now, that whole market is saturated. Yeah, you still can be an influencer. You just have to figure out how to make that work for you and what makes you unique. You know, I've seen people who just started like a year ago that are just, or like the girl here in Texas that she created a brand and it didn't really take off until COVID came and made what she did a necessity.
Yeah.
So don't get caught up in all that stuff is riffraff.